my name is Zaria, and I wanted to do a video on my experiences in heaven. And well, first and foremost, I never planned to make this video or any videos or even talk about it because I was kind of hesitant on what people would think. Nervous, and I'm not really a camera person, but I know it will probably help somebody, or I know people probably would like to hear about what I've seen and did. It actually happened a couple months ago, and I would not lie about this as well. This is 100% the truth. I would not lie on God, especially Jesus. I would, never do anything like that. But this is my experience and what I've seen. It happened a couple months ago in January this year, and it's like kind of like an outer body experience that I would have. I would be in my room. I would feel my spirit lift out of my body. I would be hovering over my body. I would see my body laying on the bed, and I would just kind of float up and up. I would see my house, I would see stores, and I would float up and up until like I would reach like space. And then once I reached like space, I would just kind of just drop into heaven. Like I just appeared there into heaven. And the feeling there when I first got there, it's like, first of all, it smells good. It's like a peace. Like you just feel very happy and joyful, and you feel very good. It's very bright. I don't remember seeing a sun or any clouds. When I started to really look around my surroundings, I noticed a tree behind me, and it was just a tree by itself. It wasn't surrounded by anything, any other branches or trees. It was all green leaves, very, very pretty green. It almost looked like it was a fake tree because it was such a perfect tree. And in heaven, it's like you have a knowing of things. Like you instantly like know. Like I knew that was the tree of life. I knew that. And I looked around more, and I looked around down, and I seen flowers, all different colors of flowers. And in heaven, everything is alive. Nothing is dead. Nothing is dying. And the flowers were alive, and the flowers were singing. And when you listen to what the flowers were singing praises to God. Everything in heaven worships God, whether it's plants, animals, everything. And I remember seeing that they were singing worship songs, melodies to God, praising God. And I remember on my right, far off, near off on the right, I seen a man, and he was kind of like strategizing, like thinking, like he was in deep thought, kind of. And I remember seeing him, and he was standing by like a bench. It was a bench, and then it was like a lake that was in front of him, like a river lake, as far as I knew from at that point. So as I'm walking towards him, and I get closer, I noticed that man was Jesus. And the feeling when you see him is just like, it was a very emotional experience. I hugged him. That was the first thing that I did. I hugged him. It was like, it just felt like I missed him. Like I've seen him before, and I hugged him, and he hugged me, and I was in tears, and I was happy, joyful, overjoyed. And I remember I asked him a question. At this time, I was watching a lot of different videos, like Rapture videos, and I was curious about like when the rapture would happen. So I had to ask him. So I asked him, when is the rapture? And he told me that he did not know, that I needed to ask the Father, that I needed to ask God. Only God can give me that answer. And that's what he told me. And we were talking, but I remember the river, and I knew that it was a river of life. I knew that. And the most prettiest river you would ever see. Crystal clear water. You can see your reflection in it. I went up to it and I see my reflection, and I seen what I looked like. I looked like the best version of myself. Like, I had long eyelashes. I remember I had curly hair about to my shoulders. I just looked perfect. I looked a perfect person. And I remember just being in awe, looking at myself with this, nothing like I look like on earth. So I remember after that, there was a town, like near off in the distance was a town. And the whole like color of it was kind of like orangey. Like it's kind of like orangey where I was. Like the orange type of tint setting, how it looks. And I remember I was walking towards the town, and I seen people. People were very happy. They were very all smiling. Everybody was smiling. Nobody was sad. No frowns. I just knew that everybody was happy. I seen stores. It was like this dog groomer store where I seen dogs getting groomed inside through the window at the store. And then I seen a music store, and as I was continuing to walk, I seen this girl. I remember she had red hair. She ran up to me and gave me a hug, as if like she knew me, as if like we were friends. And I didn't know her. I never met her. I don't know her, but she knew me. And it was kind of odd to me. I didn't know her, but we ended up having a conversation. And she had dogs with her. She had puppies with her. But we ended up having a conversation. And as well, in heaven, when you think that you want to go places, you can go there. And I thought about how I wanted to see God. I wanted to go to God's throne because I've heard about it before. And when you think about it, you can go. So I thought about that, and this like circular purple bluish thing appeared in front of me, like kind of like a portal, and I went through it. And when you go through it, I appeared in front of God's throne room, outside, on the outside of it. And it was big, huge, enormous, a white like type of palace, type of place. And I remember I seen like two guys on each of the doors of it, and they were angels. I knew that they were angels. And the way that the angels looked that I've seen, they look like humans, but they're like perfect. Like they were men, and they were very just fit, like perfect body. Excuse me. I don't remember seeing any wings on them, but they looked like beautiful men. That's what they look like. And I remember the doors open, and I walk down. It's like a long hallway inside this like palace. So a long hallway, there's white walls, huge white walls. I was walking down, and then I reached this door, and this door has like these beautiful pearls and like gems and rhinestones, green, red. It's like every gem you can ever think of is all over the door, and it's a beautiful door. And then it has two gold knobs, and I just knew that was a door that I had to go through to go and to see God. So I really took a minute to really admire this door, this beautiful, huge door, all these diamonds and stones on it. And then the doors opened up. When they open up, the room is like, it's like light. That's the first thing. You just see light. It's shiny light. Everything is just glowing inside. And I remember I just was in awe. And I seen God sitting on like a chair. He was sitting on a chair. He's enormous, big. I've only seen his feet, and it's up to his like hands, like up to his elbows. Like he's kind of like sitting like this on his chair. And I remember just like looking at everything. The floor is like gold, like a gold that I've never seen before, like the prettiest gold ever. And I remember just looking at his feet. I could not see his face. And as well, Jesus, I forgot to mention, I could not see Jesus' face at all. And it's like weird because I interacted with him, I talked to him, but I never got to see his face. I never got to see his features, his skin color. It's like it was blocked from me. And as well as God, I never got to see his face. But I remember I was talking to him and we had a conversation. But after that, then I remember I was drifting back. Like I was kind of like, my spirit was leaving that place. After the conversation was done, I was leaving that place and I was going back into my body. And I woke up. So that was the first time. And the second time that I went, it was the same experience. Well, I would float up. My spirit would leave my body. I would float up and I would go up, and then I would just drop down in heaven. And I landed in the same place where I was. The tree was behind me, the tree of life. But at this time, there was a guy, kind of like my age. It was a guy behind me, and he was sitting down reading. I knew the guy's name. Like, it's like a knowing there. Like, you just know stuff. I knew his name. His name was Paul. And he was reading a book. And I remember I went to go sit next to him. And I was trying to kind of like look at the book, what he was reading, but it's like it didn't have words. Like it had words, but like I couldn't understand like the words. It was just like gold writing in the book. But I knew it was like something important. Like I knew things, but some things I'm guessing God just didn't allow me to know. And he was reading it, but I had no idea what he was reading, but I didn't ask. And then afterwards, we were talking, and I can see in the distance, I seen Jesus coming towards me. He had a lamb, and he had puppies with me, and I knew that they were my puppies. I've always wanted dogs here on earth, so I have dogs in heaven, and I knew that they were my dogs. So he was coming towards me with 2 dogs and a lamb, and he was coming towards, and we were talking. Then I remember, it's like the scene changed. Next, I was dancing like in a field, like with flowers, and I was dancing with the lamb and with the 2 puppies. And I remember like when I was dancing, like I can like float. I was floating in the air. I can float in the air and do moves. And whenever like you do anything, you sing and dance, like everything is worshiping God, everything is praising God. And that's what I was doing. I was dancing, but I was praising God while I was dancing. And I remember like I was just happy and just overjoyed. And I was like, my hands, like it was like colors coming out of my hands. But I knew that it was like love. I knew it was love coming out of my hands. And I was like, I don't know, I was like directing the love to God. Like it was like to God. And that was I didn't know that I could do those things, and that was very shocking and amazing. And I remember again in the next scene, I remember that I wanted to see God, and I just thought about it. And when you think about stuff and it just happens. So the portal thing, the blue purplish portal thing opened up again, and I went through it, and I went to the throne room. And I went to see the door, and I went through the door. And this time when I went to see God, like he can like minimize himself, like human form, not like my size. He was very tall, but like kind of just like human form. And he wasn't sitting down at this time. He was standing up. And I remember how his hair looked. It looks like kind of like Albert Einstein's hair, how it's like kind of like sticking up, like frizzy kind of, but it was like that. But then it had like a little curl at the end, and it was like floating. Like his hair was just like floating, like if that makes sense. And he didn't have a color. God like he's glowing. He's just like light. That's what he looks like. He looks like a glowing light. Like, he has body parts and everything, but he just looks like golden light. That's the best way I can explain it. And I was talking to him, and I was having a conversation. I remember I asked him, well, not asked him, I remember I was thinking that I wanted to dance with God. And, you know, when you think things, like, they happen there. So I was thinking, and I thought that I wanted to dance with God. And then I was dancing with God, and we were in space. It was me and God dancing in space. And I remember we were dancing to the song, Dance With My Father, again. And after that, that ended. I went forward back into my body, and that ended. And that was the second day. So now the third time that I went, it was the same process where my spirit left my body, and I went up and I landed in heaven. And the first person I seen was Jesus. And I remember him saying, when he seen me, "Oh, you're back." Like, kind of like in a sarcastic way, but like funny. He's like, "Oh, you're back again." And I laughed because I thought that was funny. He laughed too. And I remember him saying that. And at the time, I think I was kind of sad about something, like a personal problem that I wanted to talk to God about. So I, thought that I wanted to go to the throne room, and the whole portal thing opened up, and I went to the throne room, and I seen God, and he was in that same like human type of form, human-like again. And in heaven, there's like different rooms that you can go to. Okay, let me explain. There's like different places. Like, there's like a winter room. There's things there that you can do. There's theme parks. There's like a theme park setting. You can go to the fair. You can go, everything that we have here on earth, there is there in heaven. Like, heaven is like a whole nother earth. Like, everything here and more. And I remember the room that he took me to was a garden room, and it's just like millions of flowers, billions of flowers, all different colors. And I remember they had animals. There were animals in there. And I remember he was standing beside me. God was standing beside me. And I remember beside him was a lion. There's a lion beside him. And I just remember just looking at this lion. It's nothing attacks you. Nothing is bad in heaven. Everything is good. Everything is tamed. All the animals are tamed. It's just loving. And I remember they had it was a swing, like a swing, white swing set that I went to go swing on. And I was talking to God about how I was feeling, and he was just talking to me, trying to uplift me, give me uplifting, encouraging words about my situation. And another thing as well, like when I would be talking to God, or when I would be telling him that I love him, like also like colors would come out of me, like colors, like rainbow combination of colors would come out of like my heart, would come out of me into him. And that was like love. That was the way like he felt my love. And I remember that. But yeah, that was the end of that visit. We kind of just talked the whole time in the garden room. And there's many different rooms and places in heaven, more than you can even imagine. People have cars, there's restaurants, people eat. I have a lot of other things I would like to say, but I know I would probably have to make it another video because this is probably long. But that was my experience, the 3 days that I wanted to share with you guys. But if you're not saved, please get saved, because when you move on, when you pass on, and you want to go to heaven, you want to make it to heaven, you want to have a relationship with God, you want to have a relationship with Jesus, all these things I just explained that I see, and like they're there, they're real. And it's fun. Like, heaven is literally fun. Like, you do not want to leave. Like, if it was up to me, I would not come back. But if you haven't accepted Christ, or if you don't have a relationship with God, I encourage you to build one and accept him into your heart, because you want to have eternal life in heaven. You want to have eternal fun in heaven. So thank you for watching, and I hope this helps anybody in some way. And thank you, and God bless.